Hi guys, Ron here and welcome to the workshop. Today I have the opportunity to compare directly the old Venge Vias to the new third generation Venge which I'm riding currently. And I think it's a great opportunity to discuss why the new Venge is such a nice road bike and why did I eventually go for it. So if you look at the two bikes, essentially no two tube shapes are the same. Nothing is even remotely similar if you look at the seat post, the front end, the down tube, the rear end of the bike, the rear triangle. It's all very different. And the reason for that is because the old Vias was a fast bike and that's about it. It was harsh, it was heavy, it was twitchy and not that stiff. But it was essentially what Specialized call, and I think can be rightfully called aero, everything aero at all costs, so everything else was left behind. The result of that is, well, a couple of funky solutions like this hover bar, flat stem. Also, it's very impractical because you can't change the handlebar to anything else because the bolts go through it. Unlike any other system, all of the hoses run through this tight band internally in the stem. Very complicated cable routing, heavily sculpted front end, front wheel cutout, etc. So really very complicated bike. These tube shapes also resulted in it being very heavy, but of course it was aerodynamically efficient. As we all know, that's really not enough for road racing. Maybe for a time trial bike it would be a good thing, but if I think back to the time when I was around 2016 when I was choosing my first proper road bike, I was also choosing between the Madone 9 back then and the Venge Vias, and eventually my choice turned out to be the Madone, as you all know. The reason for that is just because it was a great all-round bike. It was also slightly quicker than the Venge Vias, plus it had multiple benefits in terms of comfort, handling, etc. And indeed, if you look at the Madone 9 versus the new Madone SLR, you see that they're very, very similar. That means the track were on a good road when designing these bikes. Whereas Specialized had to rethink it all over again, and luckily this time it turned out to be fine, more than fine in fact. So the frame set itself is around 400 grams lighter. I don't know what that includes, if it's just a frame or a complete cockpit, frame and fork, but this is the claimed statement. I can't really verify that. What you can see is, because of the computer optimized shaping, the design is very clean, subdued, no extravagant shapes there, all just a very, very nice design. As it turns out, this bike was creaking heavily, so I had to do a couple of test rides on it, and I can testify that the comfort indeed is, well, quite chattery compared to the new one. Of course, that's also a bike that's 3 sizes bigger. It can fit me if I put the seat post down, but it's stiffer in itself, plus because of the larger frame size it's stiffer again, so not that good for comfort. As for practicality, again the new bike scores here because you can fit any front end you want without spoiling the looks or the cleanliness of the aerodynamics. The seat post actually is a different shape, but operates more or less the same type of binder, same type of clamp here. Bottom bracket is also the same, BB30 down there and down here as well. Of course, running different crank setups. This is the one newer SRAM E-tap compared to that, but no big difference there. And of course they're both flat mount disc brake bikes with true axles front and rear. So in terms of specs and standards, it hasn't really changed much, but as you can see, everything in between has been radically revamped, and I think that's definitely a good point, because this bike is said to be slightly quicker, not by much. Again, I have no real method to verify that, because I don't have the Vias in my size available with this fit, which is admittedly quite extreme. Then comfort, I say, massively improved, simplicity massively improved, weight massively improved. So this bike is no longer just fast. It is very fast, I think faster than the Madone, probably because of the position. I don't think the frame itself does a huge difference between the two. Handling, comfort, serviceability, compatibility, everything that makes a road bike, plus the speed. So really a step in the right direction. Okay, so trying to show you a bit more of the two bikes side to side. I hope you have enjoyed this comparison and found it interesting. If you want to see more about the bikes that I work on and build for myself or for others, then don't forget to tune into my channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.